This was First Daughter. He knew her voice. "Tooth and claw, sister, why waste my time?" This was not a friendly voice. "The Ma gave him to me, and he is growing." Slowly. "Sister, I've heard the chatter in the trees. I've heard that he's different. A runt at best, and certainly not a Cloudfoot." "I will be the judge of that." First Daughter sounded angry now. "He will join the cadet troop when he is ready, like any other Cloudfoot male." "Then he will fail and be cast down. The Ma will not have weaklings in the clan." "I do not need you to tell me the word of Ma, sister. He is my son, and I will raise him." Lucky could hear First Daughter coming back into the dray, and he scurried back down to the moss bed. He thought she would look angry. She had sounded very angry, but she just looked sad. Different. What did the other squirrel mean? It was First Daughter who was different, not him. They had been talking about him for sure, but what was this cadet troop he was supposed to join, and who was this Ma? She didn't sound very nice, or motherly. There were so many questions he wanted to ask, but First Daughter just carried on with his grooming, as if nothing had happened. Eventually she considered him clean enough and seemed to come to a decision. "Lucky, we are going out into the avenue, into the Cloudfoot trees." "Today? Now?" His whiskers quivered. "Going outside?" "It's time you learnt about our clan. I have kept you in my dray for too long, but you must promise to stay close and do everything I say. Understand?" Lucky nodded solemnly. He was far too excited to be afraid. There was a world outside the dray nest, and somewhere in that world was his real home. "I'm going to find it," he thought. "My family is out there somewhere." First Daughter squeezed through the gap in the woven twig wall. Lucky followed, small enough to slide easily through. He took a deep breath and dived over the edge of the dray, landing on a thick branch high up in a densely leafed tree. His nostrils instinctively flared, tasting the air. Was this like his home tree? He had a memory of its scent, clean pine carried on sweet air. The air of this tree had a bitter, smoky tang. This did not smell like his home tree. First Daughter started to spiral up the thick tree trunk to the next branches. Lucky set off after her, circling the trunk, but she was really fast and soon disappeared amongst the huge green leaves. Lucky froze in panic. His claws pressed into the rough tree bark. He'd already lost her. "Lucky!" First Daughter hung from the branch above him. "Come on, you must keep up." Lucky clawed up the rest of the trunk, trying to go as quickly as he could. "Bud and branch," thought First Daughter. "He's too slow. He's never going to survive at that pace." The two squirrels set off along the branches, leaping from tree to tree. This was better. Lucky was light and agile, and he found thin branch pathways that First Daughter was too heavy to use. He was keeping up with her quite well now. "I've got to build up his stamina for climbing," she thought. "I'll have to. No slow squirrel survives for long." They were passing a large, beautifully woven dray in a chestnut tree when a female squirrel appeared. She looks just like First Daughter, thought Lucky. Waddling behind her, with a sour look on his face, was a young male. Lucky was stunned. He'd expected to find some squirrels that looked like him, but all these Cloudfoots were strange. The young male didn't just have stubby small ears and dirty grey fur. He had a massive stomach too. This squirrel was bigger and fatter than any squirrel ought to be. "Sister, finally out with your son, I see." Lucky recognised the voice and felt First Daughter stiffen. This had to be the other squirrel from outside the dray, the one who'd said he was different. The other squirrel shoved the sullen male towards them. "Nimlet, say hello to First Daughter and her son." Nimlet looked at Lucky and wrinkled up his nose in disgust. "You stink." "You stink too," said Lucky before he could stop himself. The fat squirrel's mother tried not to laugh. "Nimlet," she explained. "The poor thing can't help how he smells, or what colour he is."